Thanks, Peter. So my presentation today is entitled A Dragon's Den Special. So I've just appointed you all dragons, and I'm going to do my little pitch here today on why you should invest in CMC. We got a recent project we've just acquired called the Gavilanes Silver Gold Polymetallic Project. It's located in Durango, Mexico. So we're going to make some forward-looking statements. A typical thing in Dragon's Den, first of all, is to state that I want $1.5 million for this project, and I'm looking to get it from you dragons. Thank you very much. I'm going to talk to you about several messages on why you should invest in this company and this project. So we're going to talk about 4 things: value, expiration potential, team, and money. So before I do that, I should basically tell you where the project is as the background. So we're in the Sierra Madre belt. It's got about 30 active mines. It's one of the richest parts of the silver district of Mexico, so we're in the right place. We're 23 kilometers to the southwest of us is one of First Majestic Silver's best assets called the San Dimas mine. And that's a little bit. We're road accessible. We're 110 kilometers northwest of Durango, and we're adjacent to a little community called Gavilanes. The property has 13,500 hectares on 11 concessions, 3 mineral zones, one which is which we know a little bit about, and the other 2 we don't know a lot about yet, the central and western zones. So the Gavilanes zone is where we're going to start working first. It's 5 square kilometers, and it's growing. So the value, the first part of the message. Well, the value comes from location, location, location. We're in that San Dimas mining district. It's an emerging silver district in Mexico. There's been more than 200 discovered silver gold veins in that. The historic production, 11 million ounces of gold and about 582 million ounces of silver. Don't take me for the only one. There's a company called Regency Silver that is also announced. And if you know Bruce, tell him he owes me a beer for announcing that he's got a project in that area. So the other part of the value of this was it's already got a resource base. It's got about 18.2 million ounces at 320 grams a ton silver equivalent. So roughly about 10 ounces of silver per ton at a cutoff of 150. So the other part of the value is we looked at this and we said, well, you know, where will we be able to expand those resources? Well, the beauty is that we acquired this project from a royalty company. They didn't want to explore it. They want to be a royalty company. So that's why it was available. And then we found out that they'd done 2 years of work in the last couple of years. They'd done a bunch of geological mapping, but they'd also assayed 10 holes that Santa Cruz Silver, who previously had this project, didn't assay and haven't been integrated into the resource model. So we've got 3,400 samples, fully assayed, not integrated into the resource model right now. So we got some low-hanging fruit. That's going to expand the resource immediately. Secondly, we think we have another San Dimas. In other words, Keith Neumeyer's project that's chugging away 23 kilometers to the southwest of us, a very nice project. We think this is another San Dimas. I'm not going to get reading into this, but if you come around to my booth, I'll give you 10 or 15 reasons why I think it's another San Dimas and do the geology pitch to you. So as soon as I walk out of this room, I'll become a geologist again. And you can come talk to me about all the similarities. But the bottom line is, it's got the right geology. It's got the same mineralization, same type of alteration. You name it. I've got 10 other reasons, but I'm not going to go through them right now. So then we got the expiration potential. Well, first of all, this was the company view that was given to us. It was by a guy called Dr. Matt Gray, who had supervised the work at this project for 2 years. And he concluded that the drilling success along those things, they're all 3 veins, could lead to a tripling of the project resource. Now, guys like that typically don't say that kind of stuff unless they're seriously convinced. And I had a chat with Matt about this, and he was seriously convinced that it wouldn't take much to triple the resource of this project, and maybe more. So that was just at the Gavilanti zone. So that was the first thing. Then we went and said, well, you know, we're reading the reports, but we better get a double check on this. So we did detailed due diligence. We hired SRK to evaluate the resource model. We hired an independent geologist who's got 35 years experience in these type of systems to go visit the site, walk the site with the project geologist. And she came up with the same conclusion that I did, that this project has excellent potential. So don't only take my view for it. They told me that it was good. So then we looked at what people had done. So there was 61 holes in the Gavilanti zone. Sailfish had done some 1 to 1,000 mapping for a year and expanded the known veins from 8 to 20 veins over a 5.6 square kilometer area. But yet, they'd only explored 0.17 square kilometers. So we have veins in 33 times the amount that's currently being explored at site. Now, that doesn't include anything that we know about. That we know there's 2 other zones in this area, the central and western zone. We know very little about them, but we think there's a lot of excitement to find in those areas as well. And one thing we do know is that some of those veins and some of those zones, especially on the western side, are up to 50 meters wide. So that's very impressive. We got to get over there, have a look, map those things, do all that kind of stuff. Now, the other thing we looked at was the expiration potential. And the little pink area is that 0.1 square kilometers that's had some drilling, and the rest is the blue area, which amounts to the larger the vein areas. And all of those purple round circles are all 3 grams of gold better from surface assay results of outcrops. There's lots of them purple round circles on that map. This is juicy territory. We are convinced that in the lower parts of this zone, there's going to be gold increases, and that's very typical of the mineralization in these areas. So lots of gold potential as well as silver potential in this, and tons of targets. So we're going to explore those other zones around Los Cardos and Yamarriba over time. We're going to initially focus in Gavilanti zone. Now, my team. So here we are. We're standing. This is the geology side of the team. So we've got the same geological team that was there before. I didn't want to lose them, so I hired them to work for me this summer. And plus on our board, we've got Manny there in the pink shirt. Manny has got a master's in constitutional law and a degree in public accounting in Mexico. And all his clients are mining clients in Mexico. And one of my other directors is the guy that introduced me to this project, Douglas Coleman of the Mexico Mining Center. Douglas has been active in Mexico for over 30 years. He hosts the single silver technical conference in Mexico, and he's very well known in Mexico mining circles. So we've got the team in place to do this. Finally, the money. Let's talk money, folks. So what are we going to do? Well, you got to have a good plan if you have money. So we plan to do 4,500 meters this year in 2 phases. First phase will be 1,500 meters. And over the next couple of years, we plan to do anywhere from 30 to 50,000 meters to grow this resource to better than 50 million plus silver equivalent ounces. Money needs supports, and supports comes from a permit that's already approved. That's a rare thing in Mexico. Semarnat has approved 4,650 meters. We've got positive community relations. So I met with these guys during Christmas, just before Christmas. I met this community. 28 out of out of a community of 60 showed up to the meeting. I was expecting to meet with 3 or 4 people. And they told me how they wanted development because they wanted their boys to come home because they're working in the San Dimas mine and they want them working in their own community. So they're going to be very supportive of this project. And security risk in this area is low in that part of Mexico. So we're back to the bottom line. Dragons is 1.5 million. Now I'm valued at 17 cents. By Fundamental Research Corp as of yesterday, and I'm trading at under 4 cents. We're on the low point of the growth value curve. We have a very strong portfolio outside of this project, and we are not giving up, but for now we're just setting aside our work in BC and Yukon to focus on Gavilanes in this year. So our role is to secure a favorable drill contract, to use funds from our recent sale of our gold mill and turn them back into this project, and to identify a strategic partner. Your role at Dragons is the follows. Buy in the market. For those of you who have invested, I'm going to roll out an early incentive warrant plan that's going to be very attractive to you. You can also participate in a private placement. And the bottom line is, believe in it, folks. We're going to make this happen. Thank you very much. I'm TSX-V CMB. Have a good day.